Business insurance. Do you have the right business insurance? Do you have enough? Do you have a little? Differs from person to person. As you're starting a business, many of us don't know what insurance we need. Let's go over that. I'm Ron Ramsden. I'm a DYB coach, also a painting contractor up here in northern Massachusetts. What kind of insurance? Insurance goes all over the place. We have vehicle insurance. Of course, we want to take care of people's health and things like that. But starting a business, there's some insurances you should have in place. So my insurance, one of my insurance bills just came, new policy renewed. That's what reminded me of all this. So if you can read some of my chicken scratch, I'm going to go over some of the different insurances and which ones you should have. So, of course, vehicle insurance. We drive a truck, a van, a car, whatever you may drive, of course you need your vehicle insurance. In fact, some of the jobs we've been on, we've been asked to provide copies, insurance binders, of our vehicles, and they had to have certain limits on one of the jobs. In fact, one of the jobs, they asked for $1 million limit on all our vehicles, each individual vehicle. We decided to turn down giving them a proposal for that job. So anyways, we have your vehicle insurance, and depending on what your level of insurance is, it affects other insurances also. You want to make sure you're covered enough for not just the cheapest price, but actually the value for the coverage you're going to need. But anyways, one of the biggest ones you're going to need when you're starting a business is liability insurance. If you have no other insurance other than your vehicle insurance, you should have liability insurance. Liability insurance will cover your lawsuits against you and also claims against you. Maybe you dropped a ladder on someone's fence, and maybe it's a $3,000 fence. They can't just replace two sections. It all has to be restained or refinished. Maybe you broke something. Maybe you dropped a ladder on someone's car. Maybe you were painting the inside of the house and you got some paint on a very expensive picture. Or maybe you broke something in someone's house. That's a claim against you. That's where your insurance would come in. That would be the point where do you just write a check if it's actually your fault, or do you actually use your insurance? Liability insurance runs depending on how much you have. We are up to $1 million for each occurrence on my company. Insurance can run, I've heard people picking up insurance policies for about $1,500 a year, and then depending on your coverage, it goes up from there. A must-have. That is a no-brainer. You must have. If you're in business, you've got to have certain kind of expenses, and this is one of the expenses that you can have. And once you have a history with the insurance company, a lot of times they'll let you pay it monthly. So the first year might have to be paid all up in front, but after that usually can be like a direct deduction out of your checking account. But liability insurance. And then we have Workman's Compensation insurance. Workman's Compensation is a replacement of wage and health. So if someone got hurt on a job, and you're probably saying, oh, I work for myself, I don't need it. If you have one helper who works for you part-time, or maybe you have multiple people who are helping you, you need Workman's Compensation insurance. I know in Massachusetts it is the law. There's two ways we pay Workman's Compensation insurance in Massachusetts, and many of the other states are the same way. You can either pay up front, so they determine what your compensation you pay to employees and yourself if you're still in the field last year, and depending on your risk factor, if you've had claims or not claims, the beginning of the year a check is due, January sometimes. 3/4 of the way through the year, they'll audit you. Basically, they look at your books. They want to see who you're paying checks to, your employees. They add it up, find out if you owe them more, or maybe at the end of the year you'll get a refund. And then the other way is the way we pay. Is we actually pay. It's called pay-as-you-go. So our payroll is taken care of by an outside agency. The agency, if our payroll is $5,000 this week, next week we will pay Workman's Compensation on that $5,000. So every week we're paying Workman's Compensation. I can tell you in the middle of the summer it could be $500 a week. But for me it's a much easy, budget-friendly way of paying it, and it comes with some options. I love it. It's we don't get audited. Also, all our payroll is certified through an outside agency, and it's a great way to budget your Workman's Comp, especially in January if you don't have an extra $10,000 to send Mr. Workman's Comp. So Workman's Comp, and then we're going to get to who needs Workman's Comp and who's going to need some of that if you're working on their jobs. Short-term disability insurance. Short-term disability is usually purchased by the individual. For someone like myself, if I'm not able to work, and if I was still in the field, that would be a really burden on my family. Short-term disability is great if you're still in the field. Myself, I'm not in the field. I'm outside the bucket right now. I work on the business, not in the business. So short-term disability is not something I cover anymore. Then we have umbrella insurance. Umbrella insurance is it covers your excess liability of what other things would cover. And when you purchase umbrella insurance, and I don't know if you can see, I'll go down here. If you see, yeah, you can see umbrella insurance right here. Umbrella insurance, it's a limit. It covers the amount of money. If someone sued you for $1 million and your vehicle insurance only covered up to $300,000 insurance, and you lose in a lawsuit, they're coming after you for the other $700,000. Are they going to attach your house? Are they going to make you sell off some vehicles? They're going to drain your 401k to make sure that gets taken care of. Imagine working for 30 years and then one of your employees runs a red light or something else and hits someone and they win a lawsuit and they come after your business and yourself and they drain your retirement. That's terrible. So anyways, umbrella insurance is very, very affordable, under $500 a year, but there is a couple catches. They make sure your vehicles have to be insured to a certain limit. You can't go the cheap way. It has to be, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it has certain limits where you have to upgrade your vehicle insurance to be able to get the the umbrella insurance. And for us, it's worked great. It's very small. It's a business expense that covers us. So who's going to need workman's compensation insurance? This is really one of the big ones that a lot of people don't pay because they think it's so expensive. And it's really a lottery you do not want to win. So the workman's compensation insurance, if you're working for a contractor or a general contractor, typically they want a binder. They want a liability and they want a workman's compensation binder. This is generally when you have these, you just call your insurance company and say, hey, ABC Construction, who I work for, it needs a insurance binder, my workman's comp and liability. Could you please send it over? They'll ask you a few contact information and it's done. That's who's going to be. If you're working for homeowners and you're a one-man show, workman's compensation isn't usually mandatory, but the homeowner should understand if anything happens to you on the job and you have to put food on your table, they have insurance, and unfortunately, they could be liable. A lot of homeowners don't know this, and this is why we also let homeowners know that we have this insurance. And you'll drive down the street and you'll see on the back of someone's truck or van, fully insured. What does fully insured mean? Fully insured means that they have health insurance for themselves. Fully insured means they have vehicle insurance, because I know in our state you can't drive without insurance. So what does really fully insured mean? Fully insured in my eyes mean you have liability of workman's compensation. Obviously your vehicle's insured. That's fully insured. For me, fully insured is liability, workman's comp, umbrella, of course vehicle insurance, and it's mandatory now that we have health insurance. Homeowners, what we like to do is we all, when we sign the contract, we said we are going to, our insurance company is going to be sending you a insurance binder via email straight to you. So please watch out for that in the next couple days. And we also let the homeowner know if a contractor is trying to give you a Xerox copy of an insurance binder, that sometimes is a red flag. That means they might have paid their insurance up front and canceled it, but they still have that, or they got canceled for non-payment, but they still have a copy of their binder, and then they're using it like that. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but we have seen it, so I like to mention. Great way, if you do carry these insurance and you feel like you're not getting any use out of them, offer to give them a copy, an insurance binder, to every customer that you work for. It will set you apart a little bit. Anyways, these are the insurances. There's a lot to take in. I would really look for a good insurance agent in your neighborhood. I'm Ron Ramsden. I'm a DYB coach, also painting contractor, just helping you through this insurance nightmare sometimes, helping people, painting contractors, work on their business so they don't have to work in the business. Have a great day.